So everybody, Russell, a bit like that, Russell, the West Ham Network. Hope you're safe and well from your end here. You know what to do. Let me sort that colour out. That's better. It's Hammers Headlines in association with the KUMB.com, boys. This morning I spoke about our link to the Panathinaikos striker, Radius. I was doing it so well. Foetis Diaz. Oh, so annoyed. I've been practicing so much. And how it was an opportunity to bring him in, potentially the 24 year old Greek international. And then at lunchtime today, spoke about obviously coming up to this crucial game against Man United on Sunday. How we know there's going to be no Kudus, no Fulkrug, but potentially, according to reports, Ari Alvarez is going to come back in, and Areola and Paqueta could be dropped for the game, and spoke about how that could work from a team perspective. So go and check that out. We've got 4 stories today, 3 transfer rumours and 1 little funny one. So let's get into it, shall we? So let's start with a few rumours. So, oh dear, I didn't even look at this bloke's name till now. Apparently, West Ham, as well as Spurs, Newcastle, and Tottenham Hotspur are interested in the RC Lens defensive sensation, Abadukia Kuznetsov. Yeah, we'll say that. Kuznetsov. He has had somewhat of a meteoric rise in the last year or so for RC Lens, and apparently we are very interested in him. He made the move to Lens in summer 2023 and hasn't looked back since. Over the last 18 months, he's not only established himself as one of the key players in the RC Lens first team, but he's highly regarded as one of the best young defenders in the world. And after making a couple of substitutions in his first 2 games, the Uzbekistan international has started other games for Lens this season, and his consistent performances with his huge potential have put him on the wish list for some of the biggest clubs in Europe and West Ham. His contract is not due to run out until the summer 2027, so a move to West Ham or any Premier League club would come with a reasonable price tag. And he could be a great signing for anyone who signs a 20-year-old, to be honest. We lack real sort of depth, I'd say, in terms of the fullback issue. And that could be addressed in the winter. We've only 3 established centre halves in the team. Someone like Kuznetsov, that would do. Yeah, that sounds about right. Could help our cause potentially. Spurs are looking for extra bodies as well, Newcastle as well, and Chelsea. So it's going to be no doubt there'll be several other clubs interested in Kuznetsov as well. So I said it then without even sort of hesitating. So we'll keep an eye on that one. And poor old Martin having to. If we sign him, having to say that name all the time. But anyway, we move on. And now I want to talk about the Liverpool goalkeeper, Kelleher. Now, a 25-year-old, is currently filling in for the injured Alisson at Liverpool. And apparently West Ham are keeping a close eye on how this develops. We spoke about, obviously, Areola. Potentially being dropped for the Spurs game, and us looking potentially, I keep saying potentially all the time, but we are looking at maybe bringing in another shot stopper, particularly in the summer, thinking, with Fabianski's contract coming to an end, we were linked with the Roma goalkeeper as well, and no doubt a few more keepers will be linked in the next few months for sure. But however, with Kelleher, it's quite interesting. He's obviously done really well covering for Alisson. However, he's too good to be a number 2 goalkeeper. When he was speaking to the Times, he admitted he knows he'll always be number 2 as long as Alisson is there. So, he would have to. He knows the situation, but other clubs will be looking at him potentially. and being their number one. And so, for example, with Areola, I mean, Kelleher commands his penalty box, I think, very well. I don't think Areola does. Good claiming the crosses. Is a good shouter. Talks a lot, and again, something that Areola doesn't. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but for me, I like my goalkeeper to be shouting and sort of commanding and manoeuvring the defenders as and when. The article of the Times says Liverpool would consider selling him for around £20 million, and potentially that could be something that West Ham could test their resolve in the winter, but probably more likely in the summer, in my humble opinion. But keep an eye on that, and I'm sure there's going to be another half dozen goalkeepers we're linked with before a decision is made. And just to add to all the great names I've been pronouncing today, a player we were linked with during the summer transfer, the last day. Do you remember we were meant to have like a special surprise? And Carney Chiwenga, he was someone who apparently we were looking at to bring in at the end of the summer transfer window, but obviously nothing came to fruition. Obviously, we are heavily linked with a move for Ben Chilwell potentially, but also with Carney. He's someone that West Ham still have an interest in. I mean, he's someone he's perfect, I think, for West Ham. He can play centrally. He can play out wide as well. He's athletic. He's that sort of, we need this sort of athletic sort of body, really. I mean, he's someone who's going to, we've got that with Kudus, arguably. But how long we'll have Kudus for, I don't know, to be perfectly frank. And we know that Enzo is not playing him as such in the Chelsea side, and he needs to be getting regular first team football. He was quoted in saying, I will say exactly the same thing I said many times. Carney is a good player, but the amount of players we have, we decided at the beginning is probably better. It is probably better to leave and go somewhere, prove himself, and playing 30 to 35 games than being here and playing less. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. He's our player. He had some minutes the other day. Today, he was not involved. Hopefully, he'll get more minutes, and that more minutes could be at West Ham, with the potential of us going back in for him in January is a highly likely possibility, and could be that boost. That's all. In January, the types of players you want to bring in are those sort of real players who will bring a real boost of energy. So we'll look back and talk about Jesse Lingard. He came in January at the right time and boosted the energy, boosted the levels, boosted the motivation, boosted the side. And someone like Carney, in terms of the way he runs, the way he gets the ball, turns and he's a very aggressive player running forward. That's what we need. That's what we need. And even potentially dropping him alongside maybe an Alvarez, potentially playing a bit deeper. It's not really his preferred position, but maybe that would help to link the forward line to the midfield line a lot better, because we're not doing it at the moment. So again, one to watch in January. And lastly, Mikel Antonio gets a special shirt. The man, look how fucking big his neck is. And obviously the new the current home strip, which is available. I actually picked up the right one on Alloy Collectors, our channel sponsors. It's now available, the home shirt and the away shirts. So get them there, as well as the 1965 home shirt as well. And there'll be some more retro shirts coming up. But regardless of that, according to a report from ESPN, West Ham have made the 34-year-old striker a custom-built shirt for a pre-made slit for him to wear during the games. He's been, at the beginning, he was cutting the shirt collar a little bit, but as you can see there, it's been made proper with a proper slit. I always remember Julian Dix used to rip the collars, and he actually told a story, I think, when we interviewed him, saying how he'd rip the collars and the next day the kit man would turn back up, so he'd be constantly ripping the collars. It unfortunately shows sometimes when shirts are made, they're not made with the players in mind necessarily, and proves a very poor design for anyone with a fat neck or a muscular neck like Antonio. I'm more in the first camp, really. So it's interesting to see they've actually made a bespoke one for him. A couple of other players, I've said Thomas Suchek and stuff, but clearly Antonio, as you can see with that picture, has a huge neck. And even with that slit, he's literally filling his entire neck. But good to see they've made some adjustments to him for that. But should that have been in the first place? Probably not. Probably not. Oh, press the wrong button. I was doing so well. That's the one I want. And thank you. That's it. Take care. Stay safe. Stay warm. Stay humble. Don't forget to check out meetupmybrand.com for latest news, reviews, and opinions. And join me tonight with Martin Godliman, the voice of West Ham, as we kick off our brand new series, Desert Island Games, where I interview fans, players, and they get to select 3 games, West Ham games, that they can take with them to watch forever on Desert Island. So hopefully you enjoy that. Take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, and come on, you bloody irons. Irons!